Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Pro Football Focus in the offseason, the second one that you'll be seeing. I'm Hunter. With me, as always, is Austin.
Howdy.
And Jake.
Hello.
And you might be wondering, why are Austin and Jake sitting in a nice, comfortable house, and I am in a car, the back seat of one, to be exact? Well, that is because Casey and Joe and I are on our way to none other than the new home of Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville, Florida.
You don't know that for sure yet, Hunter.
We know it for sure. I don't know if you saw this, Austin, but a group of Jaguars Twitter people found Trevor Lawrence's wedding registry on the internet, and they have currently donated, not donated, but they've currently bought over $1,700 worth of stuff on it.
Yeah.
So if he's not coming to Jacksonville, the fans are going to be slightly upset with him.
Well, I thought you were going to say like he booked a wedding venue in Jacksonville or something.
No, but he does follow every starter on the Jaguars on Instagram, and that's really the only NFL team he does that for.
Nice.
So it's pretty solid. But yeah, we're on the way. Just gonna have a fun trip in Jayville, show the fellas the city, try and convince them to move there eventually. Who knows? But
are you gonna shout Duval at everyone?
No, I feel like that's something you shout elsewhere because there they kind of know that,
Yeah,
but you gotta show them that you're real,
But that would be like if I went to somewhere where you lived and I just looked at somebody and said, Denver.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn, that dude knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He's obviously from around here.
Yeah, but little status update of the drive where we are currently. I believe we're still in South Carolina.
Nice.
We started the drive at about 12:30 last night. I did the first shift. I think I did about 6 hours. Joe popped in. He's about to end his shift pretty soon here. Do a little shift change in case he's going to take us on the home stretch.
Nice.
Just make sure you give those semis a little extra room,
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, we won't go into details, but or why this is an interesting topic. But we stopped in Rock Hill, South Carolina, for gas and poopy breaks, and it definitely brought back some memories, to say the least.
That's
for all
awesome.
you viewers out there, Rock Hill, South Carolina, is of course where Jadeveon Clowney is from, and that is the only reason why it is significant.
I would just like the viewers to know that this episode of Bro Football Focus is brought to you by Snake Foam. Just sounds nasty.
Oh, wow.
As well as Pike Peak's world famous donuts.
Nice.
You haven't peaked until you've tried their nuts.
Nice.
All right, listen. If you
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, Jesus, Hunter.
Oh, here we go.
nuts.
That's South Carolina Wi-Fi.
That's South Carolina. These signals are bouncing off some piece of shit South Carolina tower.
I mean,
you
there's
can't
probably
see
some
my-
dude with the aluminum foil hat on that's ruining the signal.
You can't see my sweet and salty nut bars?
Oh, no, we get the gist.
Oh, we can see it.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about the trip and whatnot. But we can kick it off, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
All righty. Well,
Let's just hit it from the top.
yeah, first thing on our agenda here is going
And
back.
also, I'm sorry, real quick, if you
Yeah.
guys have anything to say, feel free to jump in.
Casey and Joe.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well, we'll see what they think about the Deshaun Watson situation because we're going right back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, update.
Yeah, it's
So-
getting a little sticky, no pun intended.
Yeah. So Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, acknowledged during Friday's news conference that there were some consensual encounters between Deshaun Watson and some of the 22 women who have filed lawsuits. But he said that at no point did Watson engage in acts that were not mutually desired. So, Hunter, as someone who's had mutually desired contact with women, what do you think of that situation?
Well, I'd like to say that this is exactly what I said on the last podcast. So where if Deshaun Watson was doing this in a place where a lady was expecting this to happen, or she was, interested in Deshaun Watson for some reason or another, totally fine. But it's not okay if Deshaun Watson was just, skeeting on girls who didn't want it.
Now, how do you prove this is mutually exclusive or desired? I mean, do you have some kind of paperwork that you fill out before the massage?
No, I think it's just 2021, and if the lady says she wasn't interested, then she wasn't interested.
Yeah, verbal. Well, alrighty then.
So now, what do you do? We'll do both sides. What do you do if you're Deshaun Watson and you're 110% innocent? What do I do?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, none of these are criminal complaints. They're all civil. So it's like,
did they not open a criminal investigation?
I thought they did.
The police started investigating it, but I don't know if any of them were criminal. I'm not sure how it works. Last I checked, it was all civil.
I don't know. Either way,
because all 22 of these women are from that Busby guy, and they're all under the same basic suit. But
well, if you're Deshaun Watson and you're 100% innocent, you just keep doing what you're doing. You put your faith in the good Lord Jesus Christ, and you'll prosper in the end.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do if you're 110% guilty?
Ooh.
I think you come out and say, "Hey, I did it." You clear the air. You say sorry, and then hopefully next year you can play ball.
Yeah.
Now, do you still talk shit and demand a trade from the Houston Texans?
Joe is shaking his head. No, Joe. What do you think about the Deshaun Watson situation?
I did not have sex with that lady, Miss Winston.
Oh my God!
Oh, you Bill Clinton?
You fool! Deny.
Just follow Big Ben's tactics, because that won't definitely work for him.
Oh.
Now that's interesting, because
the Big
Ben wasn't even getting massaged. He just had the ladies brought back to him, and he's still in the league.
One more time, Hunter.
I said no. He just pulled out his wiener from his fly in a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, so
which might as well be a church, honestly, especially in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. That's a sacred ground. Now, I think you have to look at the case law. Casey's right. You look at Big Ben. You take a look. You look at Bill Clinton, like Joe's saying. And I think you just pay these women what they need, and let it blow over.
That is a bold move.
Did he not already asked for hush money, and Deshaun said no?
That's one of the points we're gonna get to next. That lady came out, did that whole press conference, was basically during it, she said, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this so that it doesn't happen to anyone else. And then Deshaun Watson's lawyer said, "Oh, really? You're not doing it for the money? Well, then how come you sent me this email demanding $100,000? Or you're going to come out and pursue this?" So I think that is definitely.
Yeah, I think in any situation, typically, unless it's a mob situation, hush money is never hush if it's somebody.
Yeah.
Any type of public figure at all.
Yeah, you're giving them leverage.
They always figure it out.
Go put his finger up.
I do have a question, though. How do you think in this entire situation, whether
Oh, no.
he's guilty, innocent, when he plays, do you think it's going to weigh on him, or do you think he's going to do his thing?
I think people will forget about it within 6 months. Michael Vick once hung a dog from a tree and lit it on fire after it lost a dog fight in his illegal dog fighting ring. And he went on to play many years.
That was what, 2000?
I was gonna say, when's that? 2004 or 6?
Or yeah.
Early 2000s, mid 2000s. Yeah.
Different time. Like a lot of stuff was happening back then. I think, to be honest with you guys, if this is anywhere near like a hint of true, I don't think Deshaun Watson plays football ever again.
Now. What about Robert Kraft? The
Robert
owner of
Kraft
the
is an old
Patriots?
man, and that got swept under the rug. And he didn't
Ah,
see. That is a situation where Robert Kraft was in a place where that was clearly the acceptable
Yeah.
norm.
that's true.
The thing with Deshaun Watson is the girls are saying they did not want to be skeeted on.
That's true. Well, according to Watson's attorney, at least 13 of them wanted to be skeeted on, he says, according to his attorney.
See, and if that's the case, that's the case. But for all the ones that did not want Deshaun's ejaculate on them, I think that's bad news for Deshaun.
Now, is there herd immunity in this situation or no? Like 80%, so we're good.
No, I think if one girl has an issue, he's probably done. I think
Now, here's my
right
thing.
now, like,
Say he does come back to football, for whatever reason, gets somewhat out of the situation, can play football. Does he still demand to be traded, or does he just chill in Houston?
no, I mean, Jake, if this is what we originally thought it was, where the Texans, it's an inside job, this is exactly what the Texans wanted. Deshaun's
And now
trade
the trade
value
act
is
like the moon landing.
yeah, Deshaun's trade value is at a negative right now, so Texans have him right where they want him.
Yeah, and he's got a no trade clause in his contract. So they couldn't trade him unless he agreed to it. So not only are teams not going to be offering them anything, like if he gets offered a shit team, he's going to probably say no. Like they can't just pawn him off to the Jets if they would give up a first round pick for him still or something. He didn't want to go there.
But
Like,
they could still cut him.
They could, but it's just such a, I don't think they want to lose Deshaun Watson. I think in their grand scheme, like if you look at the timeline of events, everything was happy except for Deshaun didn't want to play for them. And then he kept demanding the trade. And then like within a month or two, all these lawsuits came up. So it's either they're trying to ruin his trade value, or maybe he was trying to get out of town because he knew what he had done. And it's like when Aaron Hernandez shot that dude in the face and was trying to get out of New England.
That's
a good
interesting.
point.
That's very interesting.
Okay, so other thing. Why have we not heard from Deshaun? Why is he pulling a Sleepy Joe hiding in the White House basement right now?
Yeah. I think one of the best moves to do when you're accused of something. Go on, Hunter. Oh, no.
He not come out and done a press conference.
I think
I was
his attorney probably told him to just remain quiet because they're probably letting this Busby guy blow his load with all this evidence. They're silently building their case. Like he's already come out and said, like, you got to bring forth the names of these women. And he said most of these were consensual already. Like they had that Solis lady come out. And he's like, oh, it's not about the money. Well, here's this. So he's kind of just counterpunching right now, this attorney.
Yeah,
So
'cause
I
you gotta
think-
understand, he has enough money to get like the best of the best.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna be like fucking guns a-blazing.
Now,
Like, they're gonna wait.
This Busby guy, I looked him up. He is filthy rich, this lawyer. He won like a British Petroleum lawsuit for over $100 million.
Jesus.
So that's why he's living in this neighborhood with the Texans owner, which, by the way, on our last video, a guy commented, his name is I am Edwin Hamilton. And he said, do people know how huge River Oaks is? The houses are like castles. It's not a regular neighborhood. I think he was basically saying like that we're ignorant for saying that they're neighbors because it's such a big neighborhood. They're probably miles away from each other. But I looked into it. And if you look on the rundown, this is a picture of how far away they live. They're literally diagonal from each other across the street.
You can comment on that guy's comment and tell him that he's a dumb idiot.
He is a big fat dumb idiot because I think these guys would cross paths if they went to get mail. Like, look
Yeah,
at their cribs.
So
Their wives are probably
what
jogging
was his
around
name?
in their Lululemon bullshit.
Oh,
Edgar
yeah.
James.
What'd you say, Hunter? Oh God, we're getting some of that South
All
Carolina.
right.
Stupid. Anything more on Deshaun Watson?
That's pretty much it.
Hope it's not true.
Yeah, I hope it's not true.
Well, so I can't see the rundown, so I don't know if this is on there, but I think this is a really good opportunity because we have a Jets fan in the car. I accidentally muted myself. Jets fan in the car.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold just traded to the Panthers.
Yeah.
I want to know what Casey thinks about it. He looks like he's reading an article that he just got passed to from Joe right now. But Casey, Sam Darnold traded away from the Jets, probably going to be taking Zach Wilson. What do you think about Sammy D not being on the team?
I think I'm good with it. I think I'm ready for any quarterback. I do think it's a win-win to say because Sam Darnold is definitely going to get better. I think playing on a better team than the Jets, and I think a lot of people in the Jets community have lost faith in him because the Jets are just a shitty team and kind of ruined him. So I think it's a small win-win. Now we get somebody else to root for, and hopefully he can be the star next quarterback of the Jets.
So you want Sam Darnold to succeed?
Yeah, it'd be better. I think he will. I won't be butthurt if he does, because I think he'll just be like a middle-tier quarterback.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, here's an interesting thing about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is younger than Joe Burrow. He's only 23 years old. He was like 19 or 20 when he got drafted. So
He's also got a more stupid face than Joe Burrow, though.
that's true.
You could say that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But so I do think like Carolina, their weapons, like they got Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. Who's that receiver they just signed in free agency?
I don't know who they just signed, but they have DJ Moore.
They got DJ Moore. DJ Moore is like a fucking sleeper receiver, super good. Like they might take Pitts in the draft. They're either going to get Pitts or Sewell or somebody. Like they're going to get somebody good.
All Panthers.
Yeah. So, but they pick 8th. They're going to get someone good. So I think Darnold's definitely set up in a good situation.
I think if Micah Parsons is there, they'll take Parsons, replace Kuechly.
Yeah. I mean, they could. And they could, at the same time for the Jets, I think Casey's right because the Jets now have, how many picks do they have in the next 2 drafts? Like 20 something.
7 missed like the first few rounds.
Yeah, it's definitely a good amount.
But they're going to be rebuilding the next couple years. So why waste Sam Darnold the rest of his rookie contract and have to pay him a bunch of money?
Yeah, when you could have your guy come in.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Casey about this earlier in the drive. I think Saleh is going to do it well and do it right. And the Jets will probably be decent in like 3 years.
Yeah, it's a circle of life in the NFL.
Yeah, unless you're the Lions and you're just bad all the time.
Yeah, you're perpetually.
Which is ironic that the Lions would not be in the circle of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
The next thing on the Twitterverse, or I guess would be the beginning of the Twitterverse.
Yeah.
Is it's pretty interesting. It says the NFL is expected to pass a rule that will relax jersey number restrictions. So quarterbacks will have 1 to 19, wide receivers will have 1 to 49, 80 to 89. And we'll just put the graphic up so you can see it instead of me reading it all. But this is these concept pictures are pretty fucking sweet.
I like how they kept the Haas's numbers the same, so the Haas's can't have any fun. But they're letting the linebackers.
That's always been interesting to me. Like why there's any number restrictions. Like if you want a left guard to be 3, then if you can agree on it and no one else is pissed off, then do it.
So the original reason behind the number restrictions is because you're only allowed so many eligible players. So for the refs to recognize it really fast, you got all the Haas's and the big numbers, all this.
I mean, they're professional refs. Just step your game up.
Yeah.
That's like when you see a dude that's like 400 pounds and his nickname is Tiny. It's the same thing.
And he's got number 1 on. You're like,
exactly.
This guy's clearly a wide receiver.
Like fucking Casey Hampton. He has fucking 4.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever the reason is I'm very pro people being able to be new numbers. Like, I'd love to see some wide receivers in the single digits. I think that's a cool look.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, Jake, I'm saying, all right, say you bought a Stephon Diggs jersey last year, and now he's number one.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It'll be interesting to see if current players
Whatever
change
happens
it
all the
because
Uh-oh.
because some
Looks
people
like I probably the roasted one.
have like number commitment, you know, like
Yeah, that's
I've been
your
with
own
them
fault.
forever
Yeah.
and
I
I don't
think-
want to change it. So it'll definitely be new guys coming
Austin.
in.
Yeah. Hunter, what's going on
The
here?
Dick jersey. Did you hear what I said?
You kind of cut out for about
Yeah.
2-3 minutes there.
I said all you'd have to do in the Diggs situation is like cut the 4 off and you'd be good to go.
All right. Well, what if you
True.
have Tyrann Mathieu go from number 32 to number 7 like he was in college?
Then you tape a 7 on there. You know how it goes.
I'm just saying, I'd be pretty butthurt. But the
I
NFL
saw-
is just trying to sell more jerseys, I bet.
Listen,
Yeah.
I saw
Slippery
a lot
dogs.
of Jags fans turn a Blake Bortles jersey into a Nick Foles jersey. It works out just fine.
Well, how'd that work out when Nick Foles went to the Bears?
Obviously not great, but when he was on the team,
They
he
dyed
should
the
wear
ink in the jersey.
I mean, I once turned a Ryan Fitzpatrick jersey into a Sammy Watkins jersey, so I definitely know what that's like.
Yeah, see?
But on to the next segment of the Twitterverse. It turns out that Juju Smith-Schuster was being texted pictures of the Lombardi Trophy by none other than Big Red Andy Reid himself, trying to swoo Juju Smith-Schuster over to the Chiefs.
Now, is this confirmed by anybody besides Juju?
Let's see. I don't think so.
Because if
I mean,
it's
I don't
not-
know.
If it's not, I think this is a Juju clout move because he's
Yeah.
just a big TikTok guy. I don't think Andy Reid was sending him shit. He's got plenty of
Interesting.
receivers.
What if Juju came out and was like, Belichick was texting me pictures of his boat 7 rings or whatever.
No,
I'm just glad that this is how this headline is. Because when you hear like Andy Reid caught sending pictures to Juju Smith-Schuster of the Lombardi Trophy, it's like, oh god, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I could
Like
say
every
that Mike
headline we expect to be
Tomlin-
horrible now.
I
Yeah.
could say that Mike Tomlin was sending me pictures of the practice facility trying to get me to join the Steelers, but doesn't mean it happened.
I mean,
Mike Tomlin was sending him pictures of Permani Brothers sandwiches.
Yeah,
Like,
they got fries on the top. They're pretty good.
can you believe this? How would you not want to live here?
Now, speaking of wide receivers, our next Twitterverse is a man who's covered a lot of them. So, according to @BrettColeman, J.C. Horn has covered A.J. Brown, Kyle Pitts, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Elijah Moore, Terrence Marshall, Justin Ross, and Van Jefferson. Like, that's a lot of NFL talent.
Yeah. Tre'Davious White and Richard Sherman both said that Horn was the best corner in the draft.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would take him over what's that guy's name? Patrick Surtain II?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But that's what Trey and Richard say. I wouldn't not take the stud Bama guy. Are you kidding me?
Now, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I think Surtain is more like of a physical, like man press corner, in my opinion, and JC Horn is more of like a zone pick artist, like Tre'Davious and Richard, like how they play. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah.
They'll
No,
both be top 15 picks, probably.
Yeah, it's a good draft in general, and you guys will just have to tune in next week for more info on that on our draft special extravaganza episode.
I will say I haven't felt this excited about a draft since the 2011 draft with like Julio Jones, Patrick Peterson, all those people. Like
Yeah, it's chock full of studs, that's for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of stud draft classes, the PFF tweet on the Twitterverse next was the top 5 draft classes since 2015. They have the Saints at number 1, the 2017 Saints. They have the 2016 Jaguars at number 2. They have the 2020 Bucks at 3, 2016 Cowboys at 4, and 2016 Chiefs at 5. Now, Hunter, how does it feel that number 2 draft class since 2016 is no longer with the Jaguars? Well, I guess Miles Jack is, but it's mainly Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Telvin Smith, is he coming back?
No, probably not. He kind of got in some trouble for having the sex with girls under the age of 18, allegedly. But yeah, he probably won't be back. And he's undersized, doesn't really fit the 3-4, more importantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so not only Jalen, but that was the Yannick Ngakoue draft as well. So yeah, no, definitely sucks. And I've always said that when I become the general manager or executive vice president or owner of the Jaguars, my first introductory press conference will be an apology to all of those players and all of those fans for how they were treated.
Yeah.
Do it, man. I mean, you're there, so might as well just walk in and ask if you can have the job.
It's true. So now, again, talking about going to Jacksonville, should we talk about the shocking of the mob?
I do have that on here at some point, but I do want to read
It's going to
off
be a little
this-
later on in the show.
I want to read off this Saints draft class that was number
Okay, yeah,
1.
but I can't see the rundown.
Okay. So in
Did I
2017,
freeze again?
the Saints drafted Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, and Trey Hendrickson. That's now, Hunter. We're at the point in the Twitterverse where you sent a picture of a hype tweet that shows these new Towelly shoes by Adidas.
Yes.
And I see on the tongue of one of the shoes, it says, "Don't forget to bring a towel."
How is this NFL related at all? This is
Well-
just like a personal.
Yeah, I mainly just wanted to ask if you'd still plan on copping those, because if not, I'll probably get them.
Or we all get them.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
we
dope.
should all get them. I don't know if you saw it, but under a black what? I know. Casey said they look sick, but under a black light, his eyes get all red.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. Depending on the price and like the availability, I might. They're pretty cool.
Sweet. Well, last but not
Now-
least on the Twitterverse.
I was
you
gonna
wanna
say,
something?
speaking of a beast,
Oh,
this revolves around the beast, not
Yeah,
just
if
a
you-
hype beast.
if you were to go into beast mode, you'd probably be referring to this guy. Now, this is the tweet. It's where Marshawn Lynch was talking to Peyton Manning, and he basically, the video is hilarious if you haven't watched it.
We'll pop it in.
He basically says that he takes like a couple shots of Hennessy before every game he's ever played.
You believe in superstitions? I always like to read the program front to back for whatever reason before the game. You know, by the end of the season, you know where every accountant for the Colts went to college. What
Right,
were yours?
right.
What was your?
My superstition was that I needed to have maybe a shot and a half before every game.
Of?
Hennessy. What you mean?
My bad. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Gatorade. Or
Gatorade.
Toradol. I don't know what I was thinking.
Hell no.
And there's a bar right there in the locker room in Seattle. Schneider and Pete
Born
Carroll.
my backpack.
Got it. The backpack.
So that's why this motherfucker's running around stiff arming people with no fear.
And the
It's
funniest
funny
part,
because Peyton Manning is like the ultimate white dad. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got a bar on the sidelines, huh? You're sneaking. It's like, you got a bar in my backpack.
He's like,
Just-
shots or what? He thought he was taking shots of
Yeah,
like that cortisol, like
Gatorade.
pain stuff. Oh yeah, Gatorade.
They got Hennessy.
But I do think there's something to like taking a couple shots before you, like, say you're giving like a big presentation or something,
Yeah.
going into a job interview.
They're like,
talking
you
about
smell like
liquid
Hennessy.
courage?
Why?
I was getting a little nervous. Threw back a couple shots to ease the pain. Take a little bit of the edge off. But yeah, that's just a gangster move by Marshawn.
Most definitely.
Now, the next thing, this just came out. So basically, the NFL came back and their rules experts said that in the playoff game that the Bills versus Texans, I went to that game in like 2020 January, and Cody Ford, like basically just like some guy was coming at Josh Allen. Josh Allen was rolling this way and he like chipped him, and they threw a pretty big flag on this play because the Bills were in field goal range. The flag pushed us out of field goal range. We had to punt it, and the Texans went on to win the game on the last drive. But the NFL came out and said that it was a bad call, and they've been using that video to like train refs on how not to call that. So I'm just wondering like why it took the NFL like almost 2 years of like, or like a year and a half to come out and say that. It's pretty egregious.
Yeah, and we'll play the clip to make it fresh.
Well, so you have to wait long enough to where people forget about it and don't necessarily care about it anymore. But you also have to make sure that you get it right.
Yeah. Now
I will say what might be a reason as well, because clearly this is not like a one-time thing they're doing, going back and reviewing plays. So maybe there's just a constant like bank of things that they're reviewing, going over to like, so maybe this was just put in the lineup.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not doing it every day, but they're like, all right, well, like this next one.
I'm sure they also are looking over the Miles Jack like interception, fumble, recovery, strip sack, whatever in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots.
I don't think anything against the Patriots gets
Miles
reviewed.
Jack was not down, but the refs blew
Yeah, they're like, we'll put this way down.
You're probably right.
We'll get to it in about 2030, maybe 2030. Get the sting out. But
yeah, probably once Bill Belichick is gone, it might be like a President's Secret Book type thing.
Yeah,
like he's out of here. They're like, all right, we have some things to talk about.
We can release the footage of the UFOs now.
Yeah, it's like now that like my family isn't held captive by Bill Belichick.
He's like, yeah,
is that like the end of National Treasure? Nicolas Cage gets or is that 2 where he gets?
That's National Treasure 2.
Like,
yeah.
He's like, hey babe, you want to know who shot JFK? And
yeah, and it's funny, my whole thing, because they're like, oh my god, like here's Abraham Lincoln assassinated, Area 51, 9/11. So who's updating that book? Is it the president?
The Crypt Keeper, I'd imagine.
But like
somebody who's in charge of the archives, obviously.
Yeah. If you know anything about archives, it has to be somebody
Jake,
involved in that.
What do you know about Master Psycho Diaz?
Apparently nothing.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks to fill me in on that.
Well,
there you fucking go. And you're gonna stay not knowing shit about it.
Okay, fine.
Now, since we were talking about Gander Mountain earlier, I think we got to talk about the Phillips Adams situation.
Yeah, you're our Where Are They Now guy, so I guess you can just dish that one out.
Oh, God. So this is in Rock Hill, South Carolina, if you didn't know.
Funny enough, when we were in the rest stop there, paper with that like splattered on the front page.
You should have grabbed a copy, dude.
You should have.
So you could have pulled it up.
I'm not spending like $1 on a piece of paper.
It's a quarter. Yeah, just
I didn't know
steal
we
it
were
out
going
the
to talk
pod.
about it. I didn't know we were going to talk about murder suicides.
Hunter doesn't want to get arrested in Rock Hill, South Carolina for stealing.
True. Yeah, like,
All
you
right.
stealing that paper, boy.
So basically, former NFL player Philip Adams fatally shot 5 people, including a doctor, his wife, and their 2 grandchildren before killing himself on Thursday.
Yeah,
And
this is fucking insane.
I don't really know, like, no one seems to be able to make any sense of it. It's like the doctor was 70 years old and his wife was 69 years old and their grandkids were 9 and 5. And then recently CNN came out and said that the brain of Philip Adams will be studied by Boston University to see if he has CTE. But I wonder, like, if he's going to this doctor and I don't understand, like, if he had a beef with this doctor, something he's told him, like,
Well,
maybe told him he had CTE or something, he went crazy. I don't
This
understand.
next part says that the York County Sheriff said he shot 2 air conditioning technicians on Wednesday, killing 1. So
Oh,
it's
shit.
like, is it just unmotivated? Did he just like snap and is like, I'm just gonna kill people now? And then we're just like, okay,
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see
it's
that.
fucked.
That's crazy.
I don't know, but speaking of national tragedies, I think we should take a moment for DMX.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where are my
Rest
dogs?
in peace. Yeah. Dark Man X. X gonna give it to you. Where the hood at?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jake, I have always thought that you reminded me of a strip club because every time you come around, I just got to get my dick sucked. That's
Well,
just,
I'm glad I
that
can
was
provide
a DMX lyric. Jake has
Yeah.
never had my penis anywhere near his mouth.
But
Yeah.
there's still time. So this will be a good time to go on to what Hunter was talking about earlier and the real reason he's going down to Jacksonville.
Yeah, since he was talking about his cock, why don't we talk about how your mock got shocked?
Yeah, and
Wow,
hopefully your
now we're
cock
all
does not
just a
get
bunch
shocked.
of Dr. Seuss's. Yeah, so we talked about it last episode. I was talking about how I watch Action Sports Jax 6 or ESPN 690 with Brett Martineau and Austin Lane. They do a segment called Shock Your Mock, where Jags fans can send in a mock draft and Austin Lane will shock it. And I was saying how I wanted to get on. Well, I got on, and they shocked the shit out of my mock. Like the first 2 picks, had Trevor Lawrence 1, Azeez Ojulari 2. Now, keep in mind, I have a way better mock that I wanted them to do, but basically they had already done it, and I didn't know, and it's fine. So they did a poop mock, but it's whatever. It's still a decent mock. So Trevor 1, Azeez Ojulari 2, Pat Fryermuth at the top of the second, Javon Holland with the second pick, and we'd play him at safety. Austin Lane had a problem with that, says he's too small. I think he's great. We really need safety help. Best available player, got to take him. The one he had a big problem with, Creed Humphrey in the 3rd round, said we have Brandon Linder. Brandon Linder's a great center, but he plays like 4 to 5 games. Anything wrong with getting a center in there? He can play, any spot on the interior if you need him. There's nothing wrong with having a backup boss. And then I took Tommy Tremble. He liked that. Didn't really care any which way about any of the other picks, but really just shat on the Creed Humphrey pick, and I think that was silly.
You know what I thought was the funniest part?
Down there, gotta confront.
I liked how
What?
when he was talking about Creed Humphrey, he made a comment. Well, now hold on, Jake. What color would you think Creed Humphrey is as a human being?
Oh, I mean, I watched the clip. I know he's a Caucasian man.
Yeah, I thought that was funny as well.
From hearing that name, I would have thought he was Caucasian.
Yeah, that was
Really?
mine. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Creed Humphrey doesn't sound like a black name to me.
Now, Creed, as in the band Creed?
That
Well, they're not black.
Yeah, they're
and
not
Creed
black.
From the Office is not black. So
Yeah.
But when I hear Humphrey, I think
Assassin's
of
Creed.
Marlon Humphrey.
Pick
number 65, and now we're going off the rails. All right, we should get another button where it's like the off the rails button. There's only so much power.
You gotta stop giving me buttons.
I'm just kidding, man. But seriously, get an off the rails button too while you're at it, Coos. Come on, man, let's go. This is where we go off the rails, though. Okay, off the rails button would play right now. We don't have it yet. Stay tuned tomorrow. There's only so much power Amazon Web Services can bring to the spotlight. But when you take a center in Creed Humphrey at pick number 65, well, now you've lost it. And I can't even see what the grade was from ProFootballFocus.com because, well, it's not important because you're taking a center right now. Now I know what you're going to tell me. Well, he can play interior offensive line as well. He can play guard if you need him to play guard. Okay. But he's still a center at the end of the day. Center is his primary position. And the last time I checked, the Jacksonville Jaguars got a guy by the name of Brandon Linder who still has at least not 1, but 2 years left in Jacksonville. Count them, 2 years left in Jacksonville. So while we're addressing the center position right now at pick 65, and I'm horrible at math, but that checks out to the 3rd round, I don't know. Don't like this pick whatsoever. Doesn't make sense to me. Great name. Fantastic name, like Creed Humphrey.
Very good name.
Come on, what are you talking about now? And by the way, and I don't want to get racial or anything, but I was surprised that he's white. Okay, I thought that was for sure gonna be a black dude at center, but no, this is a white guy named Creed Humphrey. More power to him. Once again, not getting racial, but the name Creed Humphrey, it comes with connotations. Needless to say, Creed Humphrey, don't like that pick whatsoever.
Are you gonna storm it on when you get there? Or are you gonna go
Saturday.
tomorrow's show?
So
Yeah.
maybe wait until Monday.
Monday.
Oh, I see.
All right, we'll tune in. We'll see if we can hear you on air.
But that means we can get
You guys are
to.
terrible.
That means we can get to the game,
Yeah.
which is top 3 super fans. All right, so my number 3 is Hawk Fiend. And this guy is a Seahawks super fan,
Ooh.
and he is dressed as some sort of Lucifer character.
Oh, that's intimidating.
And his name is Hawk Fiend. And it looks like he has some kind of like anal beads around his neck, so you know he's down with some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. Now those are some Shaq-sized
Be my
animals.
one for sure.
So you know he means business.
All right, lay it on us, Austin.
Coming in at number 3 on my list. Now keep in mind I don't know this guy's name, but all I know is that he shows up to a lot of Chiefs games and he looks exactly like Andy Reid and dresses as him. And they always pan to him in the crowd. Now, this man, he could honestly probably sneak into the game just by acting like Andy Reid. He's got the play sheet and everything.
He just has like 3 hamburgers. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Andy Reid, all right. Big Red, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing just fine. Just walks right through the gate, goes to the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know. He would never walk to the gate though. There's no way.
But that's number 3 on my list. Fake Andy Reid.
All right, can you guys hear me or no?
Oh yeah, we
can
hear you.
Eating those Pringles.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I am the ranch flavor.
Nice.
My number 3 super fan of all time. Just discovered him today in the car with Casey. He's a firefighter guy for the Jets. Wears a fireman hat, the jet symbol on it. That's my number 3.
Nice.
Fireman hat, Jets guy. He's a real New York City firefighter? Did he save people from 9/11?
He retired from the force in 2006 because of some knee injuries.
Ah.
Knee injuries
That's
will
the
get
best one.
probably climbing up a lot of stairs.
Yeah, that's my 3.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, shout out.
So my number 2, who I also discovered today, his name is Sound and Fury. He is a Saints super fan that wears a giant whistle on his head.
Nice.
And it just looks so ranty.
Now, does he blow fake whistles that confuse the referees and the players?
I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he does because the article says you may hear him before you see him.
Oh, he's one of those kind of guys.
All right, Austin, you're number 2.
Well, my number 2, and I kind of threw this guy in. Let's see. I kind of threw him in last week, and he just didn't really fit into that segment, but he's such a memorable guy. It's going to be, his name is Sid Davey, and
Not Ragnar?
he goes by Northern Light. No, he is Ragnar, but that's not what he goes by. And here he is.
So he's not Ragnar.
No, he's not Ragnar. But he is a hoss that dresses like a Viking and has the NFL logo and Vikings logo tattooed on him, and also the word freak tattooed next to his barbed wire, so you know he's a freak in the sack. And he wears barbarian horns, and he has leather wrist cuffs. So he's probably fisting a lot of ass. And I think he also has a WWE championship belt around his waist, so he could probably fucking suplex you.
Very cool.
Not a guy I'd want to get in a drunken bar fight with in the parking lot.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know his name, and I actually think he recently passed away. But the former Washington Redskins, now Washington football team, they had a guy who would come in and he would have like a Native American headdress, and I think he would have a drum sometimes. And I think they might have just called him like the Chief or something. But he was cool, so he's my number 2.
Nice. It does kind of suck that we can't put those pictures in, but I'm imagining it and it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get you them after. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can do
So
it.
my number 1, and it has to be Pinto Ron, Bills Mafia,
Pinto.
mustard and ketchup guy.
I like it.
That's surprising. I feel like there's only one option for the Bills that I won't say.
Yeah,
but-
don't be getting crazy.
They're, I mean, that's just such commitment because I don't like when I get ketchup on my hand, and he gets it in all of his orifices. And I mean,
Before the
and this
game.
is, we don't see like the OnlyFans version of the ketchup and mustard that I'm sure he's making a shit ton of money off of. So he's probably cleaning for a couple days, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Pinto Ron. He's always a good hype getter upper before the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Squirting ketchup on himself. There's usually a celebrity on top of the RV as well, or like a player.
Yeah, like Obama was on there one time.
Yeah. I think in the 70s he had JFK on there as well, and he squirted him with some ketchup on his head. 2 shots hit him.
Yeah.
But coming in at my number 1 is also a Bills fan. I think Hunter was trying to spoil it a little bit there, as he usually tries to do. But it is Bills Mafia legend Pancho Villa, and he unfortunately passed away from cancer. But he was a core member of the Bills Mafia, and he was always being shown on the screen. He announced a couple draft picks. He wears a luchador mask, and he is actually from Texas. I think he's from El Paso, and he lived in San Antonio for a while. But he was always at the Bills games, so he was flying from Texas up to Buffalo. He was always at the games. He was always crazy, and he was definitely the heart and soul of Bills Mafia.
Nice.
Rest in peace,
R.I.P.
Pancho Villa,
And
Inspiration.
DMX.
and DMX as well.
So number 1 super fan, obviously I would say me, but since we can't do that, I'm saying the number 1 super fan is ETP 445.
Oh,